Hello there, traveler. I am Leonardo MacLeod from the Clan MacLeod. But long ago, I was known as Ask, the first man created by the gods themselves. And I am here to tell you how the first humans came to be, the creation of Yggdrasil, and a few things about the nine realms. So please,
Ahem. Stay a while and listen.
Ask and Embla, the first humans. Although the gods from the beginning designed Midgard as the abode of men, in the beginning there were no human beings to inhabit Midgard. The land had beautiful landscapes, but there was no one to see them, or hear the sounds of the birds, or watch the clouds and stars in the sky. One day, Odin, Vili, and Ve were walking along the shore where there were two tree trunks that arrived there brought by the tide. The first was an ash tree, and the second an elm tree. The gods silently gazed at the inanimate wood, marveling at the human shaped appearance of the logs. Then, realizing the use for which they were intended, the gods placed the two trunks standing on the sand and gave them life. Odin gave life and soul to the two trunks. Vili gave them movements, free will, and intelligence. They carved the trunks, giving them human forms. He sculpted the ears so they could hear, the eyes so they could see, and the lips so they could speak. Then he sculpted the ash tree with male genitals, and they called it ash tree. Then he sculpted the elm tree with male genitals, and they called it Embla, elm tree. Thus endowed with speech and thought, and with the power to love, hope, and work, the newly created men and women were left to rule Midgard at will. They gradually populated the land with their descendants. Meanwhile, the gods, remembering those that they called to life, they showed it a special interest in everything that we do, thus taking care of us and often guaranteeing help and protection. Sometimes. And that was how the gods gave me life. The tree Yggdrasil. Odin created a huge ash tree called the Yggdrasil, the tree of the universe, of time, or of life, which reaches all realms and has roots not only in the most remote depths of Niffleheim, where the Hvergelmir River bubbles up, but also in Midgard near the well of Mimir, and in Asgard near the Urdar fountain. With three large roots, the tree reaches a height so wonderful that its tallest branch, called the Lerad, Peacemaker, gives shade to Odin's hall, while the other wide branches rise over the other realms. There is an eagle perched on the branch of Lerad, and between his eyes is the falcon Vedfulnir, which looks at the sky, the land, and Niffleheim and reports everything he sees. Beside the roots, there are three wells. The Norns, personifications of the past, present, and future, take care of the root near the source of Urdar. Every day, they draw water from the secret source and pour it over the root and the soil, so at least that root does not rot like the others. The white, damp mud around the fountain makes the nectar that falls on Midgard, keeping the valley around the fountain always green. As Yggdrasil is always green and its leaves never wither, it serves as a pasture not only to Odin's goat, Hedon, which provides the celestial mead, the drink of the gods, but also for the antelopes, Dane, the Valen, Dunir, and Durotor, whose horns the dew descends on Midgard, providing water for all the rivers in the world. The second well is the Well of Mimir, also known as Well of Knowledge. guarded by the god Aesir called Ymir, the Nordic god of wisdom, as he always drinks from the fountain every morning. Even Odin has already drank from these waters, having to pay a high price. In the third well, Hvergelmir, cauldron that roars, lives a giant dragon called Nidhogg, which gnaws constantly at the root of Niffleheim. At the end of time, Ragnarok, Nidhogg will infiltrate the root, causing the destruction of Yggdrasil. But that will not happen until Ragnarok arrives. Running constantly up and down the branches and the trunk of the tree, there is the squirrel Ratatosk, perforating tooth, that spends its time repeating to Nidhogg from below the comments of the eagle from above, and vice versa, in hope of provoking conflicts between them. And that is the Tree Yggdrasil and its residents. The tree is so big that it connects the nine realms of the cosmos. Asgard is the realm of the Aesir, warrior gods and goddesses. These deities, like Odin, Thor, and Frigg, among others, reside in palaces made of silver, gold, and other precious metals. Valhalla, the afterlife residence of the Einherjar, the soldiers of Odin's eternal army, is within this world. Asgard's guardian is Heimdall. Hilda's plain is the center of Asgard, and the Aesir are always there to discuss important topics. In Asgard, there's also Lidskjalf, the throne of Odin, which serves as a powerful watchtower where he can observe the whole world and see at a glance everything that is happening between gods, giants, elves, dwarfs, and men, and everything else. Vanaheim, the home of the Vanir, the gods and goddesses of nature. This realm is warm and sunny and full of green meadows. In this kingdom there is Folkvanger, the equivalent of Valhalla for the afterlife for those who died an honorable death in battle. The goddess Vanir Freya dominates Folkvanger in Sassurunir, or Hall of the Various Seats, located in Folkvanger. Alfheim, the home of the Light Elves. Alfheim resembles Midgard in many ways, except that elves, not humans, live there. And there is no night. The Vanir god Frey rules Alfheim. This world is kind of an upscale neighborhood, so you better behave yourself well if you're visiting. Otherwise, you could be arrested for loitering, invading, or just, not being an elf. Light elves are lesser gods of nature and fertility. They can help or hinder humans with their knowledge of magical powers. They also often inspire art and music. Jotunheim, also known as Utgard, it is home of the giants, also called Jotuns. They are the sworn enemies of the Aesir. Jotunheim consists mainly of rocks, wild areas, and dense forests, and is located in the snowy regions of the furthest banks of the ocean. For this reason, the giants live mainly off river fish and forest animals, because there is no fertile land in Jotunheim. The giants and the Aesir are constantly fighting, but love affairs between gods and giants also happen from time to time. Odin, Thor, and a few others had lovers who were giantesses. Loki also came from Jotunheim, but he was accepted by the Aesir and lives in Asgard. Jotunheim is separated from Asgard by the Ivin River, which never freezes. Svartalfheim and Nidavellir, the underground realm of dwarfs. This place is cold and dark because the only natural light comes from a special shining moss. The buildings are also dingy, although the interior furniture is of unique creation, as the dwarfs are master craftsmen. If you wanted to grab a souvenir like a magic hammer or a folding boat, be prepared to pay generously. The dwarves accept gold, all major credit cards, and you, if you lose a bet with them. A section of Nidavellir is called Svartalfheim, the land of the dark elves. But this is not really a separated realm, and the Svartalfs are not really elves. They are dwarves who have Vanir blood since they descended from the goddess Freya. Midgard, from the Old North, meaning Middle Land or Middle Earth. Get it? It's located in the middle of the universe, below Asgard. Midgard and Asgard are connected by the Bifrost, a bridge made of a single rainbow. Midgard is surrounded by an immense ocean that is impassable, because the ocean is occupied by a huge sea serpent, the Midgard serpent. The beast is so big that it surrounds Midgard entirely and bites its own tail. Niffleheim, it means House of the Mist or World of the Mist, is the darkest and coldest region of the universe, according to Norse culture. Niffleheim is the first of the nine realms and is located in the northern regions of Ginnungagap. The oldest of the three wells founded at the roots of Yggdrasil is located in Niffleheim and is called Hvergelmir and is protected by the huge dragon called Nidhogg. Niffleheim is a great place to make an ice sculpture or store meat if you run out of space in your freezer. However, since high summer temperatures hover around minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit, you should be careful when visiting. Helheim, the dead who don't go to Valhalla or Folkvanger ended up here. It is a cold, dark, and lifeless place, full of beings who died of old age or disease. To get there, you have to walk down a pitch black icy road to the Death Valley, cross the Gyo River on an iron bridge protected by a giant, somehow cross the wall of corpses, and finally reach the Hall of Hell, the goddess of the dishonorable dead, where you will be served hunger, misery for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Suffice it to say that Helheim is rarely on the list of nine realms top vacation spots. Muspelheim. This is the land where fire giants and demons live. Imagine the surface of the sun populated by heavily armed and always irritated fire creatures. Surt, the lord of the fire giants, dominates this realm and does not appreciate visitors. So better stay away. Muspelheim's sparks became the sun, moon, and stars. At Ragnarok, the end of everything, the sons of Muspelheim, led by Surt, will destroy everything by fire. And that is all for today, but there are always more amazing tales to tell. Before I leave, do not forget, first of all, if you're not part of the clan, hit the subscribe button to be part of it. Second, hit as well the like button to let YouTube know that these tales must reach others. That way, you can help spread them to the four corners of the realm. And thirdly, ring the bell icon so you can be notified by new tales to listen. Until then, may the gods of old guide thee in thy path.